This is the story of the American Revolution. The tale of the early colonists' fight for freedom is relived especially for you. From Fisher-Price.
"200 years ago, on a narrow street in Boston, lived a young boy with brown eyes and unruly curls. Sam Maverick was 14. His father was dead. His mother took in boarders to feed herself and her son. Sam was apprenticed to an old ivory turner named Isaac Greenwood, and he worked long, hard hours. One cold, gray morning, Mr. Greenwood sent Sam on an errand to Knox's bookstore. It was March the 5th, 1770. Halfway there, a friend shouted to Sam.
Sam! Hey, Sam! Look! Over there! There's that British soldier! The one that knocked down your mother yesterday!
I'll get him!
Quickly, Sam packed a snowball, moved closer to the soldier, and threw it. Ha!
Oh! You little... I'll get you!
Run, Sam! Run!
Oh, here now! What were you
Sorry,
doing?
ma'am. I didn't mean to.
Hey, where'd that boy go?
Put away your sword, soldier.
I said, where's that
There's
little...
no boy here.
Coonskin cow.
The soldier's name was York Evelyn. Heavy set and cruel, he strode off down the street after Sam. Meanwhile, many blocks away, Henry Knox was tending his bookstore.
Ebenezer Hodge. Good morning. How goes it?
It's cold out there, Henry. A cold, troubled world.
Ebenezer Hodge was a stocky tea merchant with wild green eyes flashing under a shock of iron gray hair. He often stopped to warm his hands by the fire in Henry Knox's cozy bookshop. Young Henry Knox, settling his towering figure on a stool amidst long shelves of dusty books, would listen with a twinkle in his eye to his fiery friend protesting the taxes that were slowing down his business.
Ruining my sales?
England had laid taxes on tea, on sugar, molasses, lace, and paper. The colonies had no control over these taxes. Many feared Parliament would raise the taxes higher and higher. Ebenezer was sure of it.
And who ever heard of a tax that did anything but go up? We'll all end up living like paupers to feed the English king.
Come, Eben. We're Englishmen as well, and proud of it.
I'm proud of my business, Henry. And I won't have it fiddled with by a fool in a wig and a crown 3,000 miles away.
Calm down, you blazing patriots.
Wait, Henry. Listen to this. His Majesty's latest. King George III hereby proclaims that only those men designated by the Crown will be authorized to sell tea in the colonies. Now, what about that?
This is incredible.
Rank tyranny, I tell you.
Absolutely incredible.
I have a warehouse full of tea. What am I to do with it? I can't drink it myself if I live to be 300 years old.
Surely the king will come to his senses.
Senses? Nonsense. I'd like to drop our good King George in a teapot and boil him till he begged for mercy.
Careful, Eben. British ears are everywhere.
Forget the fool king's spies. I'm a free man, and I'll speak as I think.
Just then the door burst open, and before them stood Sam Maverick.
Morning, Mr. Knox. Mr. Hodge. Mighty cold out.
Been running, Sam boy?
What's going on, Sam?
I came to get some paper for Mr. Greenwood. 3 sheets.
Sam, you're not in trouble, are you?
Oh, no, sir.
Well, here's your paper.
Thanks. I best be off.
Wait, Sam. What about that soldier out there?
Soldier? Oh, no.
Looks like York Evelyn, and he's coming this way.
I thought I'd lost him.
Sam, what's going on?
I knocked his hat off on my way here. It served him right, Mr. Knox. He pushed my...
Gentlemen, shut the door and lower your voice, Mr. Evelyn. I'm bringing in the cold.
What do you want?
Turn around, boy. You threw that snowball at me, didn't you?
You pushed my mother down.
Oh, you the fool of a British soldier.
Leave me alone.
Wait a minute, Evelyn.
What?
Your Captain Harris is just across the street.
Captain Harris?
Shall I call him?
No, don't bother, bookkeeper. I'm finished with him. For now.
All right, then. Get out!
Blasted redcoat.
Listen, Sam, those soldiers are dangerous men. The guns they carry are loaded.
They treat us like...
For your mother's sake, leave them alone.
Yes, sir. Well, I'd best be getting along. So long, Mr. Knox.
Hard times for a boy.
The two men bent to pick up the scattered pile of books.
The science of artillery. How to fire cannons. You read a lot of books on artillery, Henry.
A particular interest of mine, Eben. Do you realize that one cannon can replace 200 men in the field?
No, but I'll take your word for it, Henry. Well, I'd best be going too.
It's a bad day, Eben. There's trouble in the air.
This town's in a tangle, sure enough. Take care, Henry.
Those clouds are heavy as lead.
York Evelyn's superior was Captain William Harris, a kindly man, the son of a minister. He did his best to control the rough men under him. Late that afternoon, he caught sight of Evelyn.
Evelyn? Evelyn!
Yes, sir, Captain Harris.
I've heard bad reports about you, Evelyn.
I ain't done nothing, Captain.
You knocked a woman down.
Oh, zoons, Captain. These streets ain't no wider than cow paths. I couldn't help it.
That's no excuse. These people are British citizens, just like you and me.
Well, this town ain't no British town. Snow, mud streets.
Look around you, Evelyn. It's a beautiful land.
It's starting to snow. Yankee weather.
You have sentry duty at the custom house tonight?
Yeah, me and that wind.
See that you keep out of trouble.
Me keep out of trouble? What about them? Throwing snowballs at me?
No, snowballs never hurt a man, Evelyn.
Or these Yankee snowballs, they hurt. Coonskin cowards. I ought to give them a taste of British lead.
By Jove, you listen to me, Evelyn. We're here to preserve the peace, not to destroy it. Do you understand, Evelyn?
Yes, sir.
Remember my words, Evelyn. Good day.
Peace.
That evening, the snow stopped. Young Sam was having dinner at his friend's house. Henry Knox was reading in his shop. Cold and sullen, York Evelyn paced the shadowy street before the custom house. A lonely street lamp flickered in the wind. Suddenly, 5 dark figures rounded the corner. Evelyn swung to meet them.
Stop! Who goes there?
Looky, a redcoat!
Come on, go home, Yankees!
Get on home yourself, Lobsterback.
Oh, yeah? Try and make me!
Hit him with a snowball!
You throw that and I'll... Ow!
Got him!
The fight was attracting attention. People gathered, port toughs, apprentice boys, shopkeepers. Several rushed to the bells in nearby churches, hoping to draw more people, and sent the alarm through the town. A few blocks away, Sam and his friend had finished dinner and were playing marbles.
Hey, listen to them bells. Must be trouble somewhere, Sam. Most likely a fire. Let's go see.
Hey, where you boys going? Sam?
Meanwhile, Henry Knox had settled beside a warm fire, book in hand, when suddenly...
Henry Knox! Yes?
Trouble! Come quick!
I'll get my coat.
The crowd grew fast. Some just watched. Others pressed forward, throwing snowballs and insults. Evelyn backed up to the custom house steps, priming his gun.
I'm warning you! Get back or I'll fire!
You wouldn't dare. Lobsterback!
You throw that and I'll fire! Ow!
More snowballs! Throw more snowballs!
Just then, the captain of the guard, Captain Preston, marched 7 soldiers through the crowd to the custom house steps.
Soldiers! Prime your muskets and load!
Desperately, Henry Knox pushed to the front of the crowd.
Captain Preston, this crowd is unarmed. Don't let those soldiers fire.
Go on back, Knox! There'll be no firing!
Get out of Boston.
Get back, Yankees, or I'll blast you!
Cowards.
Put down your guns and fight fair.
At that moment, Knox caught sight of Sam Maverick.
Sam, get out of here. These soldiers may fire at any minute.
Come on, Sam. He's right. Yeah, let's go.
The 2 boys turned to leave, but found themselves trapped by the crowd.
Why don't you fire, redcoat?
Well, maybe I will!
Stand him in!
More snowballs!
Now! Go like you asked for it!
Come on, fire! You wouldn't dare. Look, over there.
Sam!
Let's get him home.
4 men gently lifted the boy and carried him off down the street. Just then, the royal governor of Boston appeared.
It's the governor, Governor Hutchinson.
Make way! Make way! Quiet! Quiet!
Citizens of Boston, return to your homes.
What about that boy? You don't care, do you?
These 8 soldiers are under arrest for disobeying orders. They will be tried by the law. Return to your homes and leave justice to the cause. Let us remember, we are Englishmen. I will live and die by the law. Preston, disperse these people.
The disaster that Boston had feared for months had come at last, leaving in its wake shocked and angry people. News of the tragedy in Boston spread like wildfire, and devoted patriots such as the burly silversmith Paul Revere did what they could to fan the flames. Express riders rushed the news from one end of the colonies to the other. Meanwhile, the 7 British soldiers who had fired on the crowd awaited trial in prison. That afternoon, Captain Harris arrived.
At ease, men.
Oh, Captain Harris, what's going to happen to me? Well, me and these other soldiers. I've even heard talk of hanging.
Sit down, Evelyn.
Well, can't you get me out of here? What about the rest of us?
Evelyn, you killed a man. Maybe that maverick boy. Now there's the devil to pay.
But, Captain...
All of Boston is stirred up against you.
Yeah, but the law will protect the British soldier, won't it?
Yes, the law will protect you.
What did I say, boys? We'll lick them yet, the coonskin cowards. Oh, you just shoot off a cannon and watch them run.
Don't be a fool, Evelyn. These Americans will fight you to defend their rights. And if all these troubles come to war, you'll see fighting like you've never seen. Guard, open the door.
You reckon it'll come to that? To war? Captain Harris?
Evelyn, don't you realize what you've done?
In the small bookshop on Cal Lane, Henry Knox continued to sell books and late into the night studied long volumes on artillery. For the next 3 years, he watched the colonists' anger grow and grow against the hated tax on tea. The anger became outrage when the British decided to trick the colonists into paying the tax by lowering the price of tea. In December of 1773, 3 ships arrived from England loaded full of the evil weed, as tea was now called in Boston. Furious colonists demanded that it be sent back to England unopened. Governor Hutchinson refused. Finally, on a dark night in December, the Patriots decided to take matters into their own hands. Stocky Sam Adams, most daring of the Patriots, gathered over 100 men. In the dark alley, the men met to disguise themselves as Mohawk Indians. They wrapped themselves in blankets and smeared their faces with soot from the smithy. In the middle stood Henry Knox and Ebenezer Hodge. Finally, Adams gave the word.
Who knows how tea will mingle with salt water? To the harbor, Mohawks!
Meanwhile, the 3 tea ships, the Dartmouth, the Eleanor, and the Beaver, floated peacefully beside Griffin's Wharf. A sleepy sentry leaned against a piling, listening to the lapping of the waves. But what was that? The sentry looked up, startled. Down Milk Street, swinging lanterns and hatchets, came a wild-looking crowd of...
Injuns! Injuns! Come on!
Engines!
Indians? In Boston?
I see it with my own eyes. Look! Look!
But those aren't Indians.
Greetings, Captain. We've come for tea. Hand over the keys to the hold and nothing else will be disturbed.
This is treason.
Let's have the keys, Captain.
That tea is worth a fortune.
Our liberty is priceless. The keys, Captain. All right, Mohawks, let's get to work.
For 3 hours, the Patriots hauled heavy chests of tea from the holds of the ships, burst them open with tomahawks, and heaved them into the harbor. Near midnight, the last chest was hoisted from the hold and heaved overboard.
Come on, you fishes! Drink to the king!
The colonists had made their move. There was no going back. Henry Knox trudged wearily homeward, face streaked with sweat and charcoal. During the next 2 years, more and more colonists joined the Patriot cause. They trained secretly in old barns and deserted fields, vowing to defend liberty to the death. They were known as the Sons of Liberty. The Sons of Liberty had gathered a secret supply of muskets and gunpowder in Concord, half a day's march from Boston. But British spies soon uncovered their secret. In April 1775, 1,000 British troops silently prepared to march to Concord to seize the hidden weapons. That same evening, on the road to Lexington, a boy named Amos Farnsworth shivered and hunched his massive round shoulders together as he drove the family cart through the fading light. It was just after sunset, and darkness swept across the rosy sky, waking up the stars one by one. He shivered again, thinking of the cozy home he'd left just that morning, remembering his mother's last words to him.
Hurry back tomorrow, son, soon as you sell the turnips in Lexington. You know how sick your pa is. We can't hardly spare you a day till he's well.
Amos blinked back the tears in his eyes. His father was very sick. The doctor thought he might not live. Finally, he came to Lexington. From one squat, cheery building drifted the warm savor of food. It was Buckman's Inn, where Amos would spend the night. Hesitantly, he pushed open the thick oak door and took a seat at the long wooden table before the fire. He ordered his dinner and sat back shyly. Soon the owner of the tavern, Mr. Buckman, an old friend of Amos's family, who had once lived not far from them, brought him his dinner.
Well, hi, Amos. Good to see you.
Hi, Mr. Buckman.
Here you are. Steak and kidney pie and a glass of milk, just like you ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Hope everything's all right up in Brandywine County. Say, where's your pa?
Pa's sick. I came down here by myself.
Long trip for a young fellow like you.
Yes, sir. I've been on the road all day.
Just then, a short, wiry man strode up to the table beside Amos. He looked about 60, but his blue eyes sparkled boyishly beneath his shaggy gray eyebrows.
How you doing, Buckman? Say, what are you serving tonight? Milk?
Hi, Jandy. Want you to meet a young friend of mine from Brandywine County, Amos Farnsworth. This is Mr. Janders, Amos.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Janders.
Call me Jandy, kid. Hey, Buckman, bring me a couple of glasses of ale, will you? One for me, one for the kid.
Mr. Janders, I'm not sure if
come on, kid. Glass of ale never hurt anybody.
But you see, if my pa ever found out...
All right. I don't want to corrupt you. Make that one glass, Buckman.
Be glad to. Now, don't you let Jandy here scare you, Amos. He may howl like a wolf, but he's got the heart of a puppy, don't he?
Meanwhile, in Boston, the British were preparing to march to Concord after the Patriot weapons. 1,000 soldiers had gathered on the banks of the Charles River, ready to cross the river to the road to Concord. But the Patriots had discovered the British plan. Already, Paul Revere was galloping across the countryside, spreading the news.
The British are coming! The British are coming!
Back in Buckman's tavern, Jandy and Amos had begun to talk.
Family.
You really have no home?
My home is where my hat is. It ain't big, but it covers a lot of territory. Hey, Amos, I can see you ain't feeling up to snuff now. Now, what's the matter? You miss your folk?
I sure do. I never been a...
Listen.
The British are coming!
Sounds like trouble.
Oh, Revere.
Listen, I've got important news. The British are on their way to Concord.
Back in Boston, the British Army was being ferried over the Charles. Beneath the starry sky, the long barges slid smoothly across the still river. Among the soldiers was Captain Harris's platoon.
Easy does it, then. Pull those oars smoothly. That's it.
While back in Lexington, Buckman's tavern was in an uproar.
So those British are coming, huh?
If we can help it, Minutemen are getting together to stop them.
While Jandy went over to talk to Paul Revere, Mr. Buckman joined Amos in front of the fire.
This is a lot of excitement for you, young fella.
It sure is, Mr. Buckman. British soldiers marching.
Well, they may try to march, but they won't get far. Not if I can help it. It's the duty of every able man to fight this to the bitter end.
Do you think they'll be fighting?
I'm afraid so, son. If they plan to go any further than Lexington, it'll have to be over my dead body.
By daybreak, the British had crossed the Charles River. Through the early morning mist, they marched in bright red columns down the road to Lexington. Beside Henry Fosby, a new recruit from England, marched a soldier who had fired on Americans before, York Evelyn.
What a pain. These packs weigh a ton.
You know how far we're going, Evelyn?
How do I know? Our officers are fools, marching us out on a cold night like this.
Well, Captain Harris is a good chap. He's as fair as they come.
Just then, Major Pitcairn, the leader of the British expedition, rode up beside Captain Harris.
Yeah, there's a man I like, Major Pitcairn. Oh, Pitt.
He's our best major, ain't he, huh?
Well, Captain Harris, you seem to have a spirited group of lads, huh?
The finest around, Major Pitcairn.
Keep up your spirits, lads. That's a grand night for all Britain, eh? Just smell those apple blossoms. A grand night, huh? What say you, lads?
By now, in Lexington, nearly 100 Minutemen had gathered to fight the British. But about dawn, when the British still hadn't come, the Minutemen decided to go home. Jandy and Mr. Buckman walked back to the tavern.
Well, look at Amos there, curled up by the fire.
I wondered where he was.
Wish I'd been with him. No point shivering out there like we did.
Yeah, seems like it was all false alarm. I reckon the British aren't coming after all.
But in fact, at this moment, the British were only a mile outside Lexington. Captain Harris was speaking to his soldiers.
Now listen up, men. We're about to pass through a little town called Lexington. Keep in rank. There'll be no fighting. You hear that, Evelyn?
I hears ya.
Stay in step, men. That's it.
At this moment, Buckman was yawning and saying goodnight to Jandy.
Well, it's time to get a little shut-eye. What a night.
Yeah, see you later, Buckman.
British are here. They're coming into town.
What the devil?
British are coming.
Well, let's get going.
The British were marching into Lexington, led by Major Pitcairn. As Buckman raced out into the street to gather some men together, Jandy shook Amos by the shoulder.
Come on, kid. The British are here.
The British? They've come?
Come on, you got a gun?
Yes, in the cart. Are we gonna fight them?
Well, I'm gonna. How about you, Amos?
Wait, I'm coming with you.
And so a small, straggly bunch of patriots gathered together on the village green, grim and resolute. They watched the huge British force swing toward them in perfect formation.
Look at them all,
Mr. Janders.
Take it easy, son.
All right, flag! March!
Guns on their shoulders, the British lined up in close formation in front of the scowling patriots. A tense silence smoldered between them. Suddenly, a gunshot echoed from somewhere across the green. Reacting blindly, the British soldiers fired into the group of patriots. Major Pitcairn stepped in front of his troops and threw down his sword, the signal to hold fire, but it was too late. As the musket smoke drifted lazily into the air, half of the patriots lay on the village green in the little town of Lexington. Amos and Jandy were among those who staggered away to safety. From a small clump of pines, they watched as the British resumed their march to Concord.
Amos, son, let's see that arm of yours.
Why? Oh, it's bleeding. It doesn't hurt.
Not yet.
Jandy helped Amos back to Buckman's Tavern, where he dressed the wound with an old rag.
Here you are, kid. Good as new. It may ache a bit later, but it won't stop you from firing at those blasted redcoats.
Jandy, I don't know if I still have to sell those vegetables and get back home.
Kid, I know just how you feel. You've had enough fighting for a while. Well, I'll tell you what. You go sell those vegetables right now, and when you come back, maybe you'll feel different. If so, why, you and I, together, we'll drive those British right back across the ocean where they belong, huh?
Meanwhile, the British marched into Concord and fanned out to search the homes for the hidden weapons. Evelyn and Fosby were left to guard the Concord Bridge at the far end of town. On the other side of the bridge, angry patriots from all over the countryside began forming.
Look at all them Yanks, Evelyn. You think we should ask up now for more men?
No, they won't try nothing, Henry. Those Yanks are afraid to fight us. You saw what happened at
Look, Evelyn, they're marching right towards us.
Yeah, oh, listen, Henry. You wait here. I'll go for help.
Evelyn, I can't hold this bridge. Evelyn, come back. Fire!
The patriots stormed the bridge, sweeping the panicking British before them. Henry Fosby was shot before he could escape. York Evelyn ran wildly through the streets of Concord, searching for his platoon.
Captain Harris, the Yanks are crossing the bridge.
We know that, Evelyn. We're retreating now. Where's Fosby?
I left it back at the bridge.
Get back in line. All right, men. Let's stay in rank. Forward! March!
Back in Lexington, Amos had sold his vegetables and was returning to the tavern.
Hi, Jandy. I'm back. Jandy, what's wrong?
You hear the news, kid?
No, what?
Buckman. He's dead.
Dad, he was so nice to me.
Before he died, he told his wife he wanted to be buried up in Brandywine County next to his ma and pa. His wife thought she might hitch a ride up there with you. You are still going, aren't you? Of course you know, son. If you want to stay here with us, Buckman's wife could take the cart and the money back to your folks.
Jandy?
Yeah?
Tell her to take the cart. I'm gonna stay here with you. At least for now.
Now, son, there's something else you should know.
What's that?
The British have been run out of Concord. They're heading back this way.
As the British marched back to Boston, they were fired on from all sides. Now they were entering Lexington, and York Evelyn was beginning to panic.
Sir, Captain Harris, they're cutting us to ribbons. We'll never
be quiet and get in step.
Meanwhile, Jandy and Amos crouched behind a stone wall at the edge of town, watching the British approach.
Steady, kid.
A little closer. Now! The British passed through Lexington. In the dust lay York, Evelyn. In ever-swelling numbers, the Patriots swept the British before them to Boston. That night, the jubilant Patriots set up camp on the hills surrounding Boston. Hundreds of Americans like Amos Farnsworth decided to remain until the British had been driven out of the city. That night, Amos sat by the campfire, gazing into the flickering flames, and thought of home. Home. Only yesterday morning he had said goodbye, but now it seemed ages away. Right now, his ma was probably wondering why he hadn't come back yet, and Luke, his setter, would be waiting by the gate.
Dear Ma, Pa, Annie, and Luke, when I said goodbye to you all, I never would have been brung to believe that I'd be here now, just outside Boston. My arm aches from a gun wound. No, better scratch that out. I miss you all so much. I fought the British today. I hope you're proud of me. I know you all need me on the farm, but I'll send you back all the pay I get. By the time you read this, I reckon you'll know that they killed Mr. Buckman. But that ain't the only reason I gotta fight them. Everyone here is talking about liberty. I reckon that's what I'm fighting for. Tell Luke don't get sad now, 'cause soon as I get back, me and him is going out hunting and get some good quail. I'm in good hands here. Don't worry about me. Your loving son, Amos.
2 months passed. Amos learned the simple companionship of the army, the happiness of a letter from home, that letdown when no letter came. Jandy was elected sergeant of Amos's company. The older man was like a father to him. One night in June, the army was ordered to fortify Bunker Hill, overlooking Boston Harbor. But through a slip-up, the men began digging on Breed's Hill, smaller and less easily defended. All that night the Patriots dug. At first they worked in mere silence, but as time passed, orders were given to dig as hard and as loud as necessary. In the ghostly gray light, just before dawn, Jandy and Amos worked side by side.
Makes you feel sort of grave, don't it? Hey, kid, what's the matter? You look like you just swallowed your quid.
Oh, nothing.
Confound it, kid. How can you be down in the mouth with a companion like me?
Andy, you really have no family? You really all alone?
Yeah.
I sure wish there was some way of the people back home knowing if I don't make it through today.
Don't worry, you'll make it. Hey, look. Here comes General Prescott. Let's go see what he wants. What's the news, General?
A whole company of country folk have deserted.
Jeez, I was afraid of that. They know we can't defend this little hill. We should go up yonder on Bunker Hill.
You know there was a slip-up, Jandy, and now that the orders have been given...
Orders go hang.
I'm counting on you to keep up my youngster spirit.
I know.
General Clinton was on early morning watch for the British. As he paced back and forth, he was bothered by dull sounds echoing across the harbor. He peered into the mist swirling off the Charles. Then, suddenly, in the first faint light of dawn, he caught the glimmer of a rifle barrel. As he watched in astonishment, the morning light revealed a hillside ringed with defenses and swarming with Yankees. Quickly, he raced to awaken his commander, Thomas Gage.
The Yankees have fortified Breed's Hill.
Oh, good morning, Clinton. Yankees what?
They're up on Breed's Hill, sir, just across the harbor. If we move quickly, we can drive them off.
Sun's not even up yet. No point in attacking till we can see their positions more clearly. What,
But, sir, we could easily rout the rebels if we just slip a force around behind them before they're ready.
Oh, really, Clinton? Now, look. We will attack the rebels in broad daylight. The British Army is not a fly-by-night organization. What,
Sir, that could be suicide. If we can't protect the men by an adequate crossfire...
Oh, sit down, Clinton. Here, have some toast. You and Pitcairn always so worried about the men.
By middle morning, the British cannon were bombarding the hill, and a redcoat army had boarded huge barges to float them across the Charles River. Exhausted by the long night of digging, worn down by no food, the Patriots watched the huge pomp of British military might float toward them.
Jandy, look at all the barges. Look at them all.
Just then, Dr. Warren, the most popular Patriot leader, appeared at the lines.
What's that for?
Behind us, kid, look.
Hey, it's Doc Warren, and in a fancy waistcoat.
He ain't only well-dressed, son. He's the best leader we got.
Before attacking, the British ate a picnic lunch at the base of the hill. The officers spread a fine silk tablecloth on the ground and dined elegantly on roast duck and claret. The men ate on the barges. Then they formed their battle lines. At the top, the ragged patriots waited in tense silence. Suddenly, the British drums rolled, and the neat columns marched straight up the hill.
Hold your fire, kid. Hold your fire.
Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes.
Up the hill marched the British, led by General Howe and Major Pitcairn. Closer and closer they came. When the British were only 10 paces away, the Patriots fired. The red column sagged, fell, and broke wildly down the hill. The jubilant Patriots reloaded their rifles.
We did it! We did it!
Easy, easy, kid. Load up again. We ain't licked them yet.
A second time the British marched up the hill. But again the Patriot fire drove them back.
Jandy, we've done it! We've won!
Kid, I'm out of ammo. How about yourself?
I'm out too.
I was afraid of that.
What do we do?
If the British break through, walk backwards and stay out of reach of their bayonets.
Once again, the British regrouped behind Howe and Pitcairn and marched up the hill. The Patriots opened fire, but quickly ran out of ammunition, and the British strode into the ditches, muskets blazing and bayonets thrusting.
Run forward!
Jandy, what about you?
Get going, I tell you, I'm going to throw!
Hundreds of Americans like Amos Farnsworth were driven from Bunker Hill that day. 140 were killed. Among the dead was Dr. Joseph Warren. His loss was a tragic blow to the Patriot cause, but the memory of their beloved leader in lace was to stay by many soldiers through the years of war ahead. And already a new leader was on his way from Virginia, chosen by representatives from all the colonies. He was tall, lank, and strong, with a quiet air of authority. His name was George Washington. After taking command, General Washington quickly saw that he needed cannon to drive the British from Boston. Washington soon heard of one man who was an expert on cannon, the bookseller Henry Knox, who had studied books on artillery in his small shop. Washington made Knox his colonel of artillery, And in December 1775, Knox set out across the snow to bring cannon from Fort Ticonderoga, far to the west. Mighty and forbidding, the stone fort frowned out over the frozen waters of Lake Champlain. Knox selected 59 cannon and roped them to huge sleds. Then he gathered oxen and men, a hardy band in coon caps and deerskin leggings. January 1776, the mighty caravan lurched forth. It looked like an impossible task for the former bookseller to drag the huge guns 300 miles through wilderness in the dead of winter. Opposite the town of Albany, Knox brought the caravan to a halt.
All right, men, this is where we'll cross. Remember, take it slow and easy. If one of those oxen falls, he'll crash right through the ice.
Among the men was a grizzled and somber mountaineer known as Long Jake, with a brown ox named Pancake. Jake's eye was quick to see the danger.
Sure don't like the looks of that ice, Henry. This here cannon will go right through.
There's no better place, Jake. We've got to try it.
Mark my words, it's no good. It's no good.
One by one, the cannon slid across under the sharp gray eyes of Henry Knox. Disaster he knew would come like lightning. It was now late afternoon. Long shadows fell on the ice. 58 cannon had safely crossed. Only one remained, the heaviest and most powerful of all. Jake hitched up Pancake and set out.
Come on, Pancake. Easy now. Easy.
The cannon slid slowly across the creaky ice.
Easy, Pancake. Easy, boy.
Halfway. 3/4 of the way. Suddenly the sled stopped with a jerk.
We caught! Snagged on a log! Stop! Oh, Pancake.
The ice is breaking! Get away from that gun, Jake!
Easy, Pancake. I got you into this. I'll get you out.
Jake grabbed his hunting knife and slashed madly at the lines holding Pancake to the gun.
Leave the animal, man! Save yourself!
The lines parted.
Come on, Pancake. Come on there.
Jake seized the terrified animal by the halter and rushed the last few yards to shore. Close behind, the ice gave way and the cannon fell, just as Jake and Pancake scrambled up the bank.
Jake, just safe.
We're snagged, Henry.
I saw. It couldn't be helped, but I can't afford to lose that gun.
With extra men and horses from Albany, Knox struggled until dark to save the giant cannon. Finally, early the next morning, they dragged that gun, dripping but unharmed, from the icy riverbed.
The Albany man! We'll christen that gun the Albany in memory of this day.
On they struggled, groaning, cursing, stumbling through 2 grueling months, until finally, late one night, they arrived outside Boston, a ragged and bony crew. Knox rode straight to General Washington.
At your service, General, with 59 cannon.
Well done, Henry.
I think, General, they will allow you to blow those British right out of Boston.
On March the 5th, the very day of the Boston Massacre, 6 years before, General Washington opened fire on Boston from the surrounding hills. Down in Boston, the British were astounded. The British ships and supplies were no longer safe in Boston Harbor, and the town was in turmoil. On March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, the British abandoned the city. In marched the American army amidst a glorious welcome. Washington rode at the head, tall and elegant on a white horse, and beside him rode Henry Knox, eyes twinkling as he looked again on his beloved Boston. It was July 4th, 1776, 4 months after the Americans recaptured Boston. Thomas Jefferson of Virginia had just finished writing the statement proclaiming America's freedom. He called it the Declaration of Independence. Now Jefferson stood before Congress, reading it for their final approval.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the...
Meanwhile, not far outside Boston Harbor, General Gage orders the British ships to head south for New York City. Captain William Harris looks out over the empty gray sea and thinks about his years in America.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Amos Farnsworth, on leave after the victory at Boston, nears his home. It's a hot day. He unbuttons his collar. A dog hears him coming and raises his head.
Luke, it's me, Amos!
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people. It is their right, it is their duty to provide new guards for their future security.
George Washington paces back and forth in his room in Boston. Where will the British attack next? He calls for Henry Knox and orders him to move his cannon to New York City.
We therefore solemnly publish and declare that these are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, and for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each